So I'm sober. I don't drink at all, and I haven't for almost 23 years. I quit smoking 23 years ago too, a little before I stopped drinking. But yeah, 23 years without it. I'm completely sober. I'm one of those people. Like I don't do anything. I don't do medicinal gummies. I don't. I've never been in one of the new stores for marijuana or anything like that. I just don't do anything. So I learned pretty young, relatively young, not as young as I could have, that that alcohol just wasn't for me. It didn't mix well with me. I didn't get mean. I didn't get. All I got was kind of stupid, and I never liked being stupid or looking silly. And it was okay for a while because like when I was in uh, college, I was kind of like the frat boy type. Like I would crush beer cans on my head. Like I was that guy who who crushed beer cans on his head, and and it's like it's hilarious. Like when you're in college, right? It's like, oh, there's old Lusku like crushing beer cans on his head. But when you start work and you're in a very conservative company at the Christmas party and you do it and you have like cut yourself and blood dripping down your nose. Not so cute. Uh, did I mention who I am? My name is Jeffrey Luscombe. I'm the author of Shirts and Skins and To Refrain from Embracing. I write about being Gen X, what it was like growing up in the 70s and 80s. As a Gen X kid, as a feral Gen X kid, without a lot of supervision, I call it a benevolent neglect that we went through because, I don't think it was intentional. Our parents just worked, at least where I came from. I came from a working class part of a working class town where everyone was on shift work, mom and dad, and they didn't have a lot of time for gentle parenting or any parenting at all. Bless their hearts. And we don't hold a grudge here, and we just tell it the way it is. Yes, we drank out of the hose. Yeah, yes, we didn't come out. People say like you didn't come home till the street lights came on. Well, let me tell you, like during the winter, like the sun would go down at like 5 o'clock at night or earlier, right? So we actually went out after the lights went on. So we were out there like till 8, 9 o'clock at night, in the dark, like playing road hockey and tag and doing things like that. Like we never had to be in when it got dark, or we'd be in like half the year. So now we went out when it was dark too. But yeah, so I write about being Gen X and working class and what that was like in my two novels. And you can look them up, or I can tell you more about that if anyone is interested. Just Google me. You'll you'll see you'll see about the books. But yeah, so I stopped drinking like 23 years ago. The frat boy put his beer crushing on his forehead uh, technique away. It's funny because I meet other people, other Gen X kids, and their drinking was completely different, right? Because they go like, I was a club kid in Toronto, and I go, club kid. I didn't drink in clubs. Like I didn't dress up. I'm not even sure what a club kid was. Like they put on like freaky deaky costumes and went out drinking. And no, that was not like me and my friends went to bars, baby. Bars where there was usually a tribute AC/DC band, and the ladies' washroom would always have a fight in it, and fun stuff. And it was fun for a long time, and then like it just got for me. It just didn't mix well with me anymore, and I was just being embarrassed with acting like a big goofball. And I decided to stop for a while, and I just liked the way it felt. So I never picked up a drink again, even on my wedding. It was like, well, how'd you get through that kind of thing? Like, I just didn't drink. We had a lot of bottles of Moet and champagne for our wedding. It was a pretty small wedding, and so I got a bunch of bottles for the guests. And up here in Canada, at the liquor store, you can actually take unused bottles back when you haven't buy them for an occasion. So I thought, oh, I'd buy 12, 15 bottles of Moet and Chandon, way more than I'm going to need. Uh, but no, they drank them. It turns out people really like champagne at weddings. They went through it all, man. Went through all the champagne, and I drank my diet ginger ale at my wedding, and it was great, and it was fun, and I'm long from missing alcohol. The only difference is now it's probably where my stoicism and existentialism call myself like an existential stoic, taking little bits and from each of those philosophies, sort of like put it into my life as best as I can. Uh, yeah, so it's the way it is, and it's okay, and the weddings are fine, and so it's not a big deal for me to have stopped drinking. It's just the thing is that you have like real life in your face all the time, and there's really no escape. That was the thing you had to kind of get used to, is I lived through both my parents dying, me having cancer, everything like everyone does. Every Gen X person out there, every boomer out there, every other millennial or Zer out there knows like you're going to go through these things if you live long enough. And I do it just with like, I can't take a breath, like sit down with a drink and just relax or forget about it. Like, no, it's always real. And, so I had to learn quickly how to deal with these things without alcohol or gummies or whatever the hip kids are doing these days, vaping. Do people vape like marijuana? I don't know. Um, so yeah, so I am sober. Someone had asked me that. They said, it's like you talk about not drinking. Yeah, I don't drink. It just wasn't for me. Well, it was for me for a while. It was fun, but then it became not fun and embarrassing and not the person that I wanted to be. And that kind of fed into my kind of stoicism ideas of discipline and wisdom and courage, the usual stoic concepts, while still believing, um, in the absurdity of life, um, that there's really no meaning to life except what I put into it. So yeah, so that is the uh, the lowdown on my sobriety, my non-drinking. We could talk about more of that later. Like it's like, what kind of a podcast is this? Is it a sober podcast? Is it a Gen X podcast? Is it a book podcast? Is it a writer podcast? It is about the zany things that happen during. Yeah, it's all of that. You know, it's all of that. So yeah, I drink a lot of coffee. Speaking of coffee, did anyone see these Starbucks uh, bear mugs? I didn't know anything about this until today. I'm going through social media, and like every other one is like someone crying because they didn't get these limited edition, and apparently they sent two to every store, so like pretty limited. Uh, Glass bear mug that looks like a big sippy cup. Actually, it looks like something a child would use. I don't know why any adult would want one, anyways. But live your life, baby. Live your life if that's what you want. But like they've got lineup of people outside of Starbucks this morning at like 4 in the morning. I didn't know Starbucks is open that early. But everyone said I got here at 3:30 in the morning and I didn't get my glass bear sippy cup. And I'm like, oh, oh, poor thing. Uh, but but I don't get it. But I've never been a big guy on FOMO, of fear of missing out. Like I just sort of don't. I was trying to think, did we as Gen X have these things? Because it seemed like a lot of Gen Z had wanted these ridiculous looking bear mugs, but did we have these? The closest things I knew was really the Cabbage Patch dolls. So that was for like people that were like a little younger than me, like littler kids. But it was really their parents who were like diving for them and knocking other people down to get Cabbage Patch dolls. I really don't remember. If you guys remember, if Gen X ever had something like this, that we just had to have, and uh, I don't remember anything being that limited that we couldn't get it. And if you didn't get it, you just kind of shrugged and said, "Oh well." Like there wasn't limited edition shoes. You just went out and got those Nikes with the black swish on the side. But yeah, I can't think of anything like that. Yeah, but things ran out a lot. But yeah, and I really can't remember this. I remember going to like a consumer's, like trying to get like a game, and it was sold out at Christmas time. But that's I don't remember any mania at getting a certain product for Gen X. I just think we were more shrug it off, oh well, maybe I'll get it next time. Uh, sure, but yeah, if you can think of something that is, we were nuts about that had to have, like I stood in line for concert tickets, like uh, uh, Def Leppard and Aerosmith. We did that. Bruce Springsteen. We did that, but that's not really the same thing because there's like 50,000 tickets, and you'll probably get one if you stood in line. I don't get it. But yeah, I do drink coffee a lot. Being sober, probably more than most people, probably like a couple of pots a day. Um, but yeah, and I think their Christmas, like it's all big marketing stuff. Um, so yeah, so what what else? I missed Halloween. I put out uh, like a written piece about on Substack about dressing up as a Planet of the Apes character in like 76, 77 for Halloween on Substack. I didn't do a podcast about it, but yeah, Halloween happened. I hope you all had a great Halloween. Didn't do much here. They have a big whoop-de-doo party on Church Street in Toronto. Used to go to that. Used to go, dress up, have a lot of fun. I think I'm just in my 50s now, getting a little tired of the dressing up and the walking down the street, and it's just it doesn't have the same intrigue with me anymore. I don't know if other Gen Xers are hitting that wall too. It it just doesn't intrigue me anymore to be out on Halloween. I believe that is a young man's game. Yeah, because I really think there's a time, let's put this away. Let's put this away for now. And maybe me, I'm hitting that point now. Um, so this is a Jeffrey Luskin podcast. Subscribe somehow. I don't know how. Subscribe, follow. If you're intrigued with the Gen X stuff, the book stuff. What are my books about? I told you, growing up in the East End of Hamilton as a Gen X kid through the 70s and 80s. My first book, Shirts and Skins, Boy Growing Up. It follows about 30 years of him growing up. Um, and the second one, all set in the summer of 77. That's To Refrain from Embracing. Do you know where that line comes from? God. I got it from God. It is. A time for war, a time for peace, time to gather stones. But there's a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And that's where I got it from God. That's where I got the title. People ask me, that's such a peculiar title. Yeah, I know, but take it up with God. So, yeah, to refrain from embracing shirts and skins. If you want to check out my books that are doing well, to refrain from embracing was actually chosen a best book of the year by the Independent Book Review. Yeah, that's it. Was Ecclesiastes 3, chapter 3, verse 4 to 5. Uh, a time to refrain from embracing. If you wanted to check that out. So that is it for me. And I don't do any fancy podcasting stuff here. I have got my noise canceling earphones and my iPhone. I don't use any mics. I don't use any editing. I leave in all the ums, ahs, mistakes, because once I hit record, if there's a way to stop it and start again, I don't know what it is. I don't. Right here on the Substack um, website. So that's all I do. It is fly by the seat of the pants, uh, cheap podcast for Gen X folks, books folks, sober folks, all those folks um, who want a quick laugh. Because like I said, for Gen X, uh, laughter is our trauma response. Humor is our trauma response for what we went through. So that is it for me. Everyone have uh, a great weekend uh, and a great November starting up. And that's it. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you want, or not.